The newest trend we've seen growing in the 21st century is the creation of man-made islands that attracts the likes of investors, celebrities, and tourists alike, so long as you're willing to risk billions to bring these islands to life. In 2001, the coast of Dubai just held beaches and glittering ocean. By 2006, the coast had a new island that was ready for residents to move to. So how did they build something as beautiful and as ambitious as the Palm Islands? Man-made islands are no easy task to create. They are some of the hardest construction projects ever taken on. Palm Jumeirah may have been constructed in 5 years, but the building was delayed multiple times due to the sheer difficulty of the task. So what was the process that brought these islands to the Gulf? Well, it's an interesting and controversial and expensive process known as land reclamation. This is where sand is dredged up from the ocean floor. They then use a process called rainbowing, which is when sand is sprayed and vibro-compacted into a specific shape using GPS technology for complete precision. Then a massive rock wall was built around the islands to protect them from the ocean and foul weather. This entire process cost billions of dollars to take on. Palm Jumeirah was the first to be completed and was an instant sensation. Its stylish and sleek palm tree design was quickly outfitted with 5-star hotels, restaurants, and all sorts of tourist attractions. As of 2017, the island featured 10,000 residents. Jumeirah alone cost $12 billion to construct. Palm Jebel Ali is a similar palm-shaped island, and then there's the ill-fated Palm Deira. Currently, that project just stands as 4 underdeveloped archipelagos that were stalled out due to the financial crisis. That becomes something of a trend, just you wait. While they've been mired with controversy not only because of their cost and multiple delays, but their environmental impact to the area as well. Today they are big-time tourist attractions that are said to bring in billions of dollars in revenue every year, controversy or not. The islands have courted many big names to buy even bigger homes there. Notable celebrities include the likes of David and Victoria Beckham, who have purchased a 7-bedroom mansion there for over $9 million. Normal people can visit hotels like the Palm Island Resort, which goes for roughly $800 for a minimum 3-night stay there. There are all kinds of ways to enjoy the islands, but only one way is the most intense of all to take in their natural splendor. That is, of course, the legendary Skydive Dubai service, which is a favorite of tourists wanting the ultimate thrill over the islands. It makes for a very impressive video for Instagram, too. Still, there are some worries that the project may be facing doom. NASA recorded that they believed the islands were sinking slowly back into the ocean, though I don't know if even that would stop them. They might just put a dome over it and sell it as Dubai's Atlantis. You just know they have the style and the cold hard cash to pull something like that off. Nakheel Properties, the company behind the Palm Islands, has been hard at work dredging up these archipelagos all over the place. The most impressive of these projects are the World Islands. They have been constructed to resemble the world map itself. The design represents their ideal to bring the entire world together to a place of joy and celebration. Things have not gone to that plan. Construction of the 300 islands that made up the world started with a bang in 2003. Then, like many of the Palm Islands, the financial crisis of 2007 and 2008 threw a big wrench in the proceedings. This has led to numerous claims that the entire project was a complete and miserable failure. Not to mention that these islands have been rumored to be sinking into the ocean as well. This is Dubai, though, the place where they have firefighters on jetpacks and police have hover cars. don't count them out just yet. Since the world, and Dubai itself, rebounded from the financial crisis, various projects on the islands have started back up again. Most notably, the heart of Europe consists of 7 islands that represent 7 different European countries. Those are Germany, the Netherlands, Sweden, Ukraine, what they call main Europe, Switzerland, and Monaco. The development of the artificial islands has been rumored to cost roughly $13 billion. Now each island is being offered for sale by private development, some for crazy big prices. Sales have gone to prominent celebrities such as Madonna, Richard Branson, and the Jolie Pitts back when they were together. Of course, since Brad and Angelina broke it off, the island is rumored to have gone to an unknown buyer instead. I mean, I wouldn't want to be known as the poor man's Brad Pitt on the island either. They've even begun building luxury floating seahorse houses outside of the heart of Europe as ocean-based properties worth around $12 million. These are beautiful floating homes that are divided into several sections that allow you to enjoy swimming right on the ocean to sleeping with an unforgettable underwater view, definitely worth over $10 million. So yeah, I'm betting that a few decades from now, these islands will be full of even more luxury hotels and ridiculous tourist attractions. Then they'll start working on the Dubai space station next. I mean, you just know they're in the planning stages already, right? Miami, Florida is known as one of the biggest tourist destinations in the United States of America. The city is known for featuring 5-star hotels, epic mansions, epic parties, and wonderful beaches. So how could you possibly improve on an area like that? By building man-made islands, that's how. The Venetian Islands are a chain of artificial landmasses in Biscayne Bay. They were constructed in the 1920s and united by a bridge known as the Venetian Causeway. The entire project was taken for a budget in the millions, though it was nearly millions more. The westernmost island, known as Biscayne Island, is now a premier neighborhood in the area. It has managed to woo several huge stars like Cher, Andy Garcia, and Brad Pitt. Do you even have luxury artificial islands if Brad Pitt hasn't bought a property there? I think not. Even President Richard Nixon had a home there. It was known colloquially as the Florida White House that he allegedly purchased from some mob-associated businessmen. Not only that, but once the property was sold, it was actually used for filming on the movie Scarface. Man, that house has seen some things. Originally, the islands were supposed to be even more ambitious. They were part of a much larger project known as the Drive of Campanile, which would have connected several other islands. Just like with the Dubai man-made island projects, though, financial crisis absolutely devastated these plans. This time it was the Great Depression that brought the project to a definite halt. I kind of think there's some sort of financial curse on some of these man-made islands. The second you start building one, the entire planet's economy does a backflip. Not every man-made island was built just to attract tourists. Sometimes people create islands to avert a future disaster. That's exactly why Hulhumalé of the Maldives was brought about. The development of the island was taken on by the Housing Development Corporation. The project aimed at dealing with several problems the people were facing in the near future. That includes the rising sea level that was threatening the land there, a housing crisis due to overpopulation, and opportunities for economic development. They're not so much aiming to get as many celebrities and 5-star resorts as they are just trying to build a nice community for the inhabitants. The island is being reclaimed using a lengthy process to pump sand from the sea floor. The land reclamation has built the island up so much that it is now the 4th largest island in the Maldives. The development of the island for residents was approached in several phases. Each one of the master plan, as it was called, was aimed at building housing, an airport, a system of roads, and spaces for economic advancement. As of 2019, the island has a population of over 50,000. Not only that, but they have a goal of building this up to 240,000 by the mid-2020s. Despite the fact that this project is a huge undertaking and has gone through several different phases, construction of it was one of the cheaper of the many man-made island projects that have been in development over the years. Instead of costing tens of billions, this project is said to have cost $63 million so far. Not only that, but it doesn't seem to have inadvertently caused some sort of major international financial crisis due to that curse that clearly exists for people who make these things. That's definitely something they should be proud of. Not all of these islands have had quite so many blunders. There's at least one that managed to get things done as intended. Not only that, but you can put an offer on it right now if you want. You just gotta have a serious amount of cash to back it up. Marjan is a collection of 4 man-made islands located on the northern tip of the United Arab Emirates. It stretches over a grand piece of land totaling 660 acres. The islands have unique crescent-like shapes and circles. They are truly breathtaking to take in from both a distance and up close. The island started off as a 5-year construction deal that was meant to encourage tourism in the area. The entire project, announced in 2013, has become one of the United Arab Emirates' most popular tourist destinations. In 2013 alone, the island had 100,000 foreign visitors. So mission accomplished, right? This being a man-made island project though, obviously fate had to destroy some business venture. They wanted to build a very ambitious, soccer-themed resort sponsored by Real Madrid. As you might expect from the luck of these other projects, the entire thing went bust. So sorry you can't visit Real Madrid's Disney World, which is a shame because the Cristiano Ronaldo roller coaster would have been awesome. Maybe one day. The entire island was put up for sale for a massive price. It is considered to be one of the most expensive islands in the entire world. The sales price was about $462 million, with an incentive attached that foreigners wouldn't have to worry about any taxes. The buyer was said to receive 5 million square feet of land to go with the 5-star hotels, private beaches, and residential living areas featured on the man-made islands. Not only that, but they added the world-class education and hospital facilities that are located nearby. Basically, the whole artificial island package. So far, it doesn't appear like anyone is interested in dropping nearly $500 million on the place. You know what they say, used islands just don't sell like they used to. These man-made islands are all the rage right now, all over the world. Even if every single project seems to feature massive delays and big price hikes, that goes for Qatar's very own artificial island known as the Pearl. Its name was chosen because the island was built on a major pearl diving site. Not only that, but the design of the island is based on a string of pearls. It is divided into 12 distinct districts that each has a distinctive architectural style. Some resemble French, Italian, and Spanish designs, while others have inspirations from the likes of Rome's Colosseum. What I think this shows is how these man-made islands encourage creativity on a truly grand scale. Once you've literally constructed your artistic rendering of a string of pearls into a landmass, it really pushes people to go above and beyond with their concepts. The Pearl definitely doubles down on this. The Pearl is said to have a Venice-like community, which features an extensive canal system, pedestrian-friendly squares and plazas, and beachfront townhouses. These features join the many luxury hotels, resorts, and restaurants already there. It continues to expand today. That will be helped out by the fact that it's the first land in Qatar to be available for foreign nationals to own. So maybe one day it'll be grand enough for Brad Pitt to make an offer on some property there too. When the project was originally conceived and announced in 2004, the cost of constructing the island was reported to be about $2.5 billion. That estimate turned out to be some serious wishful thinking. As the project continued, that budget more than tripled. Figures then moved more in the neighborhood of $15 billion. Is there such a thing as a man-made island that's built on time and under budget? I'm really starting to think not. The Netherlands actually holds the record for making the largest artificial island by land reclamation in the world. Flevopolder is an island that was built during a large-scale project to build a series of dams for the purpose of draining water for reclamation. The northwestern part of the island was drained in 1955 and the rest in 1968. Today, the island has a population of over 400,000. I'm sure each and every one of them has an edition of the Guinness World Records that mentions they have the #1 man-made island in the world. I know I would. In the first 20 years of the 20th century, pretty much everyone had to announce a project to build new islands. The People's Republic of China launched several land reclamation projects in the South China Sea that has been known by the name the Great Wall of Sand. China is building their artificial land by pumping sand onto live coral reefs, many of which are submerged. Then they pave over the land with concrete, while other island projects were aimed at promoting world unity or encouraging tourism. This was seen as something of a flex by the rest of the world. You see, more than half of the world's annual merchant fleet tonnage passes through the South China Sea, so this development was seen as an intentional disruption of trade routes. It caused a pretty big response from countries all over the world. To sum up a good portion of the world's response to this whole situation, it was basically like, hey, China, you're making most of us kind of nervous with all these man-made islands. Maybe stop. Love the rest of the world. I don't know about you, but I like these islands a lot more when they're about tourism and togetherness. Call me old-fashioned, but that's what disrupting a natural habitat by intense land reclamation is supposed to be about. The Statue of Liberty in New York City is one of the most recognizable statues in the entire world. That's well deserved because according to the movies, it has withstood many alien invasions, monster attacks, and big-time Spider-Man battles. What people may not realize is that it is far from the only Statue of Liberty in the world. Aside from the one on Liberty Island, there's one located on the small man-made island, Hulhumalé in France. The island was graced with its famous present in 1889 by United States citizens, a mere 3 years after the original statue was inaugurated in New York, itself a gift from the French people. The French statue was initially faced towards the Eiffel Tower, but it was moved in 1937. The statue now points west, towards her sister statue in NYC. While this island hasn't been featured in quite as many big Hollywood movies, it has had a few cameos over the years. That includes the movie Frantic and the Oscar-winning film National Treasure, Book of Secrets. I'm like 90% sure that film won an Oscar, right? Honestly, knowing Nicolas Cage, it's kind of surprising he didn't try to buy the statue from France on the spot. He's exactly the sort of guy who would do that. These artificial islands cost tens of billions to make. At the construction price of $400 million, that means an island is worth like over 250 Disney Worlds.